look at 10 advanced footwork movements for MMA. Now, if you don't have a full understanding of footwork fundamentals, you may want to go back and cover the basics before you watch this video. That being said, we're going to take elements from various martial arts styles, karate, taekwondo, boxing, Muay Thai, so that you can incorporate that into your training. Let's take a look.
First up is what's referred to in the Japanese as a kuriashi, used in arts like kendo and karate, stepping with the lead leg while the trailing leg follows. I'm demonstrating here from a side stance, incorporating that point style bouncing for rhythm, and I spring forward not by jumping up off the ground, but by exploding at the bottom of the bounce, staying low to the ground. A lot of fighters like Conor McGregor and Wonderboy Thompson have used this with great success. Thompson using it with that jab cross to roundhouse kick combo. Second is one of my personal favorites, the pendulum step. So the rear foot simply replaces the lead foot as I lift and chamber my knee high to my chest if I were to load up for a kick. Absolutely, Bruce Lee movement here. Definitely use that for that hopping side kick of his. But one of the best to use it nowadays, Lomachenko. Of course, he doesn't chamber his knee, but he does shuffle his feet, replacing the lead foot with the rear, usually cutting an angle in a circular motion. A great movement for any martial artist. Number 3 is the back pedal, which is easily visualized as moving your feet backwards in half circles or in the shape of the letter C. You're gracefully retreating back so you can buy yourself time or space, and then cut off that angle too. You can circle and move around the ring, keep your opponent at the end of your jab. Muhammad Ali, this was sort of his signature movement. The diamond step is number 4 and was best explained to me by Coach Alex Palma, who's Tiffany Van Soos's coach, Tiffany Time Bomb. Alexander has taught me tons about the specifics of footwork just in a short amount of time that I've known him. In fact, I know he'd tell me that my diamond step is way too deep, meaning my legs are way too far apart. Just trying to exaggerate the movement here. So I shuffle my feet at a 45-degree angle to advance forward into my opponent's left or right side. And I can stay in a switch stance, or I can shuffle my feet, keeping my lead shoulder facing my opponent. So this way I'm not switching my stance, I'm staying orthodox. Number 5 is a 90-degree pivot, swinging my rear foot behind me while pivoting on my lead foot. It's great to throw a check hook while your opponent's stepping in. Think playing Toro with a bull. The bull's moving forward. You just pivot, move out of the way. I can also step my leg back even deeper for a full 180 spin, and I categorize this as a different movement because I don't personally attack when doing a 180 spin. It's more so for me to just evade and get out of the way, or get to my opponent's backside. I like covering my head with my lead arm in case my opponent throws a right hand, but I usually get low and in tight, kind of under my opponent's guard so that I can even push on their low back or hip to assist in my pivot. 7 is the drop step with just one leg, as taught to me by Coach Trevor Whitman. A great example of this being used in the opening round, Shane Carwin against Brock Lesnar, dropping his rear leg back as he throws his rear hand. He stood his ground here and then moved forward with an uppercut jab cross, or you can just drop step again using the opposite leg, dropping that foot back behind you, switching your stance. Number 8, both legs almost hopping back or to the side for this version of the drop step. Think hopping off of the railroad tracks and then springing into your next movement. Walking is number 9, and it may seem simple, but some of the best use it. And I actually just took a seminar with Anderson Silva, and he went over this as a defense to the jab. So imagine your opponent throws a left jab at your head. You're going to just walk forward, bringing your right leg like you're walking down the street in front as you tilt your head off to the side to evade the jab. And then from here, you have an open angle for your rear uppercut, the rear hand, and follow up with that left hook down the center. Now, you can finish with a kick to the legs or even a sweep, which leads us into our last one, the tie hop. Sounds like an import IPA, but it's not. It's when you fake your front push kick by lifting your lead knee, letting your hips pull you forward as you slide your support foot across the floor. Tons of top-level ties have used this, but no one more successfully than Saenchai. So you can use this to cover distance so that you can pull down on the hands and drop an elbow, so that you can march into a knee. You can unload with punches, pretty much whatever's open, however your opponent reacts. Once you see a chink in the armor, that is where your sword shall strike. That is where your sword shall strike. It's pretty tough to say. You know what? I just realized I forgot to talk about shifts. And quarter steps. And offbeats. Nah, I didn't forget, but I do say